From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, August 19th. Man, are we going to have another gorgeous day to end your work week. Beautiful carbon copy of what was yesterday. Warm, partly cloudy, dry. Humidity is going to be low. Overall, just a great afternoon for any outdoor plans. Highs top out in the mid-80s. As far as the weekend, some isolated showers are possible Saturday afternoon. A lot of showers and isolated storms Saturday night will develop, and then some periodic rain and storms will be the main focus throughout the Sunday. Highs are set to be in the mid-80s for Saturday before we get to the low 80s by Sunday. Severe weather is not expected this weekend. Police say a man is in critical condition after being found shot in the leg on the east side of Indianapolis. Officers responded to a neighborhood street near 21st and Ritter Avenue just after midnight. The victim told officers he was walking north on Ritter when someone shot him. He told police he didn't see anyone or notice a vehicle. Officers used a tourniquet before medics took him to Methodist Hospital. Police are now asking for surveillance video from the neighborhood. And the man accused of shooting Richmond police officer Sierra Burton, severely injuring her, will be in court for the first time today. Philip Lee is charged with attempted murder, unlawful possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon, and other drug charges. Police say he shot Officer Burton in the head during a traffic stop last week. This morning, the words bright spots are used to describe hopeful signs from the Richmond police officer's recovery. Sierra Burton remains in critical condition. The police department posted an update online saying Officer Burton continues to fight. The department wrote, officers are navigating through some difficult times as we wait to see Sierra's progress. The officers of RPD are strong and pulling together to support each other. We here at Wish TV have made it easy for you to read the entire statement about Burton's condition. You can find more in the As Seen On section of wishtv.com. And a Richmond business is raising thousands of dollars for Officer Burton with two different events. Yesterday, Smiley's Pub posted on Facebook that it delivered a check for more than $15,000 collected during its annual golf outing. And tomorrow, the pub is holding a community fundraiser for Officer Burton and her family with an auction, raffle, and live entertainment. It starts at 4 Saturday afternoon at the Pub and Beer Garden on 8th Street. Two Carmel police officers are leaving the department. One is accused of inappropriate conduct. The other faces criminal charges. Carmel's suspended Deputy Police Chief Joe Bickle filed a notice to retire Monday. The police department moved to fire him last month. Bickle is accused of groping or kissing female employees and trying to influence an employee to violate procedure to benefit a family member. City leaders say the merit board now considers Bickle's case closed. And Carmel police officer Andrew Longyear resigned after being charged with identity deception and conversion. Police say he used a Georgia man's name and picture in a Facebook group to disparage Clay County Sheriff candidate Josh Clark, his wife, and the county prosecutor. Longyear used to be a Clay County Sheriff's deputy. State police say they contacted Clay County investigators in June. Police worked with Facebook, Verizon, and MetroNet to identify Longyear as a suspect in the same month. Police say Longyear admitted to making the posts. And charges are filed in the murder of an Evansville firefighter more than 3 years ago. The victim's widow is one of the suspects. Elizabeth Fox Doer and Larry Richmond Sr. are now accused in the death of Robert Doer. Police found him shot and killed in his driveway in February of 2019. Investigators say phone records show the two suspects spoke just minutes before the shooting. The suspects are accused of deleting information from their phones about the call. Fox Doer has been in jail since last month. Prosecutors filed perjury charges against her then, claiming she lied to the grand jury investigating her husband's death. Richmond is in federal prison serving a sentence on gun charges. They each face counts for murder and conspiracy to commit murder. In Marshall County, a man is under arrest for his involvement in the January 6th Capitol insurrection. Court documents show Ian Horvath surrendered to authorities Wednesday. According to a U.S. District Court, Horvath entered the Capitol through a breached door and stayed inside for more than 30 minutes. Investigators say Horvath was in the Senate wing foyer when rioters clashed with police. He's charged with entering and remaining in a restricted building as well as violent entry into the Capitol grounds. And a federal judge appears willing to unveil at least some of the affidavits supporting the FBI search of former President Trump's Florida estate. The judge yesterday said the Justice Department did not prove why a redacted version should not be released to the public. He ordered the prosecutors to submit proposed redactions by next Thursday. Several news organizations want the document unsealed as it likely reveals key details about the Justice Department's investigation into whether Trump mishandled classified government records. The FDA says new COVID-19 boosters will be available to children. According to the agency, health officials will begin administering updated boosters to protect against the BA4 and BA5 strains sometime next month. The FDA says there will be doses for both adults and children. The FDA has not yet shared what ages will be eligible for the shots or how long kids would need to wait after their most recent booster to get the new dose. NCAA officials are asking for help investigating violations of the organization's name, image, and likeness compensation policy. The Indianapolis-based organization sent an email to members updating them on the investigations. It says NCAA enforcement staff is actively investigating any potential abuses and will share any concerns as soon as possible. Since 2020, NCAA athletes have been able to earn money for things like endorsements and sponsorship deals. The organization had previously banned them from accepting compensation. To business headlines, General Motors and LG Energy Solution are considering building a battery cell manufacturing plant in New Carlisle, Indiana. The companies had submitted a tax abatement application that it hopes will be approved later this month. The company's first U.S. battery cell plant in Warren, Ohio is set to begin later this month. Layoffs are in the works at half of companies. A PricewaterhouseCoopers survey says half of executives said they're reducing headcount or plan to, and 52% have implemented hiring freezes. At the same time, about 2/3 of firms are boosting pay or expanding mental health benefits. And millions of Americans are still awaiting their tax refunds from the IRS. But there's a silver lining. The money may be accruing interest, and rates are poised to jump in October. The Internal Revenue Service generally pays interest on refunds that are delayed by more than 45 days after the filing deadline. The current interest rate is 5%, but it is slated to increase to 6% on October 1st. Sales of previously owned homes fell nearly 6% in July compared with June, this according to a monthly report from the National Association of Realtors. Sales dropped about 20% from the same month a year ago. The July sales figures are based on closings, so the contracts were likely signed in May and June. Mortgage rates spiked higher in June, with the average rate on the 30-year fixed loan crossing 6%. Gen Z is bypassing Google for TikTok as a search engine. Nearly 40% of Gen Z members prefer TikTok for online searches. That's according to internal data from Google. All right, to the Colts now, getting ready to play in front of the home crowd for the first time this season. The Colts host the Detroit Lions at Lucas Oil Stadium tomorrow. The teams practice together this week ahead of the second preseason game. Head coach Frank Reich called the days productive at training camp. Most starters will sit for the game. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. And the Little League team from Hagerstown wins its first Little League World Series game in dramatic fashion. Their biggest fans are watching at a watch party at the Hagerstown Junior-Senior High School. It's pretty awesome. The kids were let out of school early. Okay, so in case you missed what happened, Hagerstown beat Iowa on a walk-off error. Iowa had stormed back from a 6-1 deficit. Tie game, final inning, winning run was on second base. There was a grounder to shortstop, but then an overthrow to first brought in that winning run. The team will be back in action Monday against the winner of today's 3 o'clock game. And Wish TV is keeping you up to date on what the team's been doing off the field in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. You can find more on the team's journey in the As Seen on Wish TV page at wishtv.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.